And welcome to another Down the Rabbit Hole video. Thought I'd talk about another one of my rare Star Wars action figures. And this time we're talking about Snaggletooth. Clearly not this Snaggletooth, because you've seen the title above. You know we're talking about the other Snaggletooth. But I wanted to talk about this guy for a second because I wasn't entirely certain who this was in the movie. To my mind, he was the character on the left-hand side of the following scene. Just as Luke and Ben have left Han and Chewie, you see him briefly on the side of the shot, and I'll point him out here. So here's the scene. The stormtroopers come up. There's Chewie and Han. There he is there. It's kind of dark, hard to see, but that's him right there. I'll do a little close-up here. One more last shot of him there. There he goes. Now, depending on different sources on the internet, that may or may not be this character. And I find that surprising because he looks like that character. I mean, yeah, sure, it's not an exact match, but we're talking about 1970s toy manufacturer. So a lot of the characters didn't really 100% look like how they appeared on screen. But I always thought that's who that this was. But in doing my research, that character that we were just looking at on the left of Han and Chewie was actually Zutten, or depending on where you look it up, Tequila might also be his name, and I think that might be a Star Wars Expanded Universe reference. This is apparently a different character, they say. This is somebody called Zutmore, and the reason that this character is called Zutmore is because there's a picture that is used on the Snaggletooth box, the card that he comes on, of a guy in a red outfit wearing gloves, and it says Snaggletooth. That photograph is from the Star Wars Holiday Special, which I just mentioned in my recent talk about the Cosmic Christmas cartoon. There's a reference there to the Star Wars Holiday Special where I discuss with my wife. Please don't see that. However, one thing in the Star Wars Holiday Special is a bartender sees this guy, at least the one who's in the photograph on the card, and refers to him as Zutmore. So that is who this character is, they say. But anyway, we're not here to talk about Snaggletooth in red. We are here to talk about the far more rare Blue Snaggletooth. Now, this one came out in a box set. In 1978, Sears apparently were making the Cantina, basically like a cardboard cutout. You slide slot A into tab B and all that, and you make a Cantina cardboard cutout play area. They needed some villainous aliens to fill the shot, and Sears apparently took the images that they were given, and one of them was of this character, and made figures for them, or maybe it was Kenner that provided them? It's a little unclear. Anyway, the wrong size of character, a normal-sized, human-sized character, got molded in blue and called Snaggletooth, and they included it in the action, in the set piece. Here's the picture of the box set now. And I'm going to do something that most collectors would be horrified of. I'm going to actually open up the Snaggletooth packaging. I know! Why would you do that? Why would you ruin the collectible ability of this? No, don't worry. This is not actually an official box set or card. This is something I made myself. There was an old piece of equipment we got at my job. It had a card on the back of it, and I thought, oh, that'll make a nice display for Snaggletooth. So I printed this out myself, and I just wanted to reference this. It says here, using a fairly vague photo as reference, Kenner first produced a tall blue Snaggletooth included in the Sears Cantina playset. It quickly corrected the figure, making him shorter and dressed in a red outfit for his carded release. This actually comes from a 1998 CD-ROM box set called Star Wars Behind the Magic. It has various things, including the Biggs deleted scene, and that's why I've held on to it all these years. It's a great little resource. It's got the script. It has pictures like this. And so that's sort of what I use for my reference for a lot of these old classic pieces of information. And this is actually a screenshot from that. In fact, you can even see my mouse that I had printed from my screenshot. Anyway, so yes, Blue Snaggletooth came in the Sears box set, and he was made in error, so they pulled that figure, and they pulled that box set, maybe? You, according to other resources, you could also mail in for this figure for a little while, but when they did discover their error, they quickly stopped making him, and now he is very rare and very valuable. So, where did I get him? Well, much like my Yak Face figure, a little link to that video down below, it was the 90s, and I was actually down in LA visiting a friend who worked for Star Trek The Next Generation, and there was a big Star Trek convention going on in Anaheim. And he invited me to come along with him, and I checked out the dealer room where there was everything under the sun, all kinds of collectibles and memorabilia for sale. And I remember this guy in a glass case on a dealer table, and they wanted $100 for him. And I'm sure that's making a lot of people cringe because Blue Snaggletooth these days, he goes for a lot more than that. And this one's in excellent condition. So I had been in this lineup, saw this guy, they wanted $100. I said, yes, absolutely, like with my Yak Face, for sure. I will buy this for $100. Got in the lineup, and there were a couple of kids in front of me who couldn't have been more than about 9 or 10 years old. And they were looking at this dealer's table, and they saw things like large-size C-3PO in box and X-Wing fighters and that kind of thing. And I'll never forget, one kid turned to the other and said, God, can you believe they're still selling Star Wars toys? It's like, yes, they are. And now they're even more valuable. So there we go. Anyway, Blue Snaggletooth. Now, what are some of the details of him? Well, he came in these like groovy disco space boots. And mine's got, as you can see, a little bit of wear on the toe there. It's kind of, some of the paint has faded off there. I should get him appraised for what his value is, but he's in very good condition. I mean, I don't know if you can hear that kind of crackle noise of a new action figure. He's barely ever been turned or used at all. There are two variants, there are two versions of Blue Snaggletooth, if you can believe it. One is, there are some that have been recorded out there where there's like a little divot in the toe here, like a little imperfection, like an actual indentation. It's not this toe kind of thing here where it looks like, you know, his boots fit nicely for whatever way his alien feet are shaped. No, it's more like an imperfection in the plastic. Mine doesn't have that. Apparently those are even rarer still, but I am very happy with my $100 Blue Snaggletooth. Now, final bit of news about Snaggletooth in general and this whole Zutten-Zutmore confusion. We know Blue Snaggletooth was eventually done away with, and that's why he's so rare. Red Snaggletooth, or whatever one you want to call him, there's a really good video online. I'm going to link to it down below by a fellow called B Snag. He's got an excellent in-depth discussion about the Red Snaggletooth, who is Zutten, who is Tequila, who is Zutmore. In a nutshell, Zutmore is from the Star Wars Holiday Special. Tequila is the one that we see in that shot that I inserted earlier. So yeah, there we go. There's the Snaggletooths, and I'm very happy that I've got the Blue Snaggletooth in my collection. He goes up there with Yak Face for rarity, and absolutely fantastic, and is still in great condition today. So I'll put him back in my custom case for him, and I really should get him appraised. But that's it. We'll see you down the rabbit hole.